What is going on, guys? We are back playing some more Surviving with BuildCraft 7. Now, last episode we started working on the oil distilling setup, and I mentioned that it was going to be a pretty big project and it would take 2 episodes. So today's episode is going to be finishing this whole setup and pretty much just getting it to be fully functional and showing you guys how awesome it looks when it's all running together. So, if you have not seen last episode, I would definitely recommend you go and watch it because while this might not look like much, you definitely need this, assuming you want to have the exact same setup, because we're going to make it pretty much into one big cycle where you still need to pump oil in, like you find in the environment like this, but we're going to need a cycle to be heating stuff up and cooling it down and all that good stuff. So, if you're planning on doing this setup, you definitely should go watch that, but if you're just here to listen to my, silky smooth voice, then, you don't need to go watch it, you can just sit and enjoy. But before we actually jump into working more on this, something that I want to do that I should have done a while ago is to go through and get rid of all these redstone torches, because you guys have brought to my attention something that I should have realized a long time ago, which is that you can use levers to actually power the engines, the redstone ones. So, and of course we can use them on the Stirling and, combustion engines just to tell them to turn on, but specifically for the redstone ones, pretty important. So we're going to go through and turn them on with levers. Not going to change this setup over here just yet because it's not super important, but I wanted to make sure I did that. Something you also may have noticed is that everything is actually already crafted in my inventory. The reason behind that is it's the same exact stuff that we used last episode. We're just doing some more stuff with it. So you've got the distiller, the same pipes, pretty much all that. You got a pump going. The only thing that we have not crafted before is going to be the clay transport pipe. And I forgot that I need to get some cactus. I don't know if I have any left in here. I don't think I do. So we actually may need to take a little bit of a trip. There is cactus around here because we need to get the stuff to make it a fluid pipe and not a transport pipe. So there's a desert right over here. While we're running over here, actually, before we jump into it, I can sort of discuss what we're going to be doing today. So basically, today's portion is going to be taking the mixed fuel that we have right now, and that's the yellow stuff that's being pulled out on the left side, and we're going to be using that, and it's currently going to be, I want to say it's searing right now, but we're going to be taking that, and we're going to be cooling it off using both the cool oil that we're eventually going to be pumping into the system, and we're also going to be using some water just because the amount we're generating is higher than the amount of oil we're pulling in. So you do need to have a water stream in there too to make sure you're cooling it down at the same rate that you're creating it. And then once we have that, that is going to go into the distiller, and that's going to pull out gaseous fuel and regular fuel. So that's going to be the setup for today. Might sound pretty simple, but there's going to be multiple heat exchangers in the setup. There's going to be a lot of different pipes running around close by, so definitely going to want to keep an eye on how everything is set up. And I apologize if you have some trouble, kind of keeping track of all the different stuff that we're going to be working with, but you're going to need a distiller, a couple tanks, some redstone engines, a Stirling engine, a pump, and then just, you're going to need 6 at least heat exchangers, and then just sort of some miscellaneous fluid pipes. So, you're going to have some gold, you're going to have some wooden, some iron ones. The iron are important. You don't really need gold. And then the clay one, not really necessary, but I thought it'd be interesting to use it. So we can grab this out now. And what was the recipe for this again? Do you just craft it to turn it into that? Yeah, you just put it in the crafting grid. Okay, so we'll grab these out. So we are doing some crafting today. We only need 1 clay pipe, so we should be good with that. There we go. Never made them before. Be interesting to mess around with them. I'll explain what they do later. Okay, so now we are over here. Unfortunately, we're going to break this, and we are going to get we should get some shards out of here, so we can work with them later. But this is where the, I guess, complicated part is going to start. So, we're going to be pulling out the front up here just to help kind of weave these things together. And I'm going to be thinking out loud for a lot of this, because it's kind of complicated. So we're going to pull this out and bring it down. And this is kind of where we're going to jump into the first heat exchanger. Now, the reason we're bringing it out is because we are going to be pumping something in here. So eventually we will be using a lot of these pipe plugs. Things like, let's say we're going to do this. We're going to go from here. Oh my gosh, it doesn't want to let me place it down. Well, we'll do this, and then we don't want these to connect. So we're going to plug that and plug that. Doesn't really matter which one you're plugging, but as long as they don't connect. And then we're going to be running this along the top here. and we're going to plug this over here. And so essentially what this is going to be, just to help you guys visualize what it is here we're pulling out the mixed fuels that we're going to be getting from the separation. We've already got this whole setup over here for the dense fuel, but the mixed fuel is going to come out here, and here is actually going to be the input of the oil once it's been heated up. So we're going to do that, and then we are going to we should set up the heat exchanger right here. So this is where we break out the clay fluid pipe. Now the clay fluid pipe, the purpose of this, and we got to do a lot of plugging here, there and there. So the purpose of the clay fluid pipe is to essentially try and fill up the adjacent tank, I guess you could call it, before it sends it on. So if that's full, it'll keep it going, but it'll try and fill that up first. So the idea is we want to have this one as a clay fluid pipe so that when we set up the heat exchanger, this first one that we'll do is going to be the one that heats up the oil. So we want it to always be going to heat up the oil unless it's completely full, in which case then it will go to get cooled down by water, but we want it to mainly be forced to heat up the oil because we want to make sure we're always doing that. So what we got to do is put this down, and I keep forgetting how you actually set these up. Oh wait, we can turn them. Oh my god, I never even knew that. Okay, so let's see if we set this up right. So I want to turn them like that and like that. Does it not want to set them up right? There we go. So is this backwards? Yes, it is. This is backwards. So can we turn them like this? Yes, we can. Oh, that's so much more convenient. I didn't actually know that. Fun fact, you can do that. Something we have to do then is kind of get rid of this pipe up here and place it back down. So what this is going to do is this is, like I said, the one that heats the oil. So we are going to be inputting the oil over here. It's going to go through, and when it's heated, it's going to go out the top, and then the cooling liquid is going to go through the center and just come out here. So over here will be the output for the mixed fuels, and then up here is where the hot oil is going to come out and then go down into here. So everything's actually good on that front. Now we need to set up another heat exchanger here, pretty much the same exact fashion as the other one. So we'll place these down and we'll just turn them until they're correct. Not the right way. So like this again, and of course this is going to be the second one. Now we're going to use an iron fluid pipe, and I just want to do this to make sure that nothing gets kicked around in here if these are ever full. So we'll put this down, and let's get some dirt out to actually work with here. So we put that down, and we just want this one to be blocked off because we don't want anything going back through there. And then here, it just gets to be empty. This is where the steam is going to come out the top because this one is going to have water going through it. So the water is going to get heated up and turn into steam similar to the one over here. So it's irrelevant, you know, where it goes. It is becoming nighttime, so I am going to go and sleep. Also, I apologize if it sounds like I'm out of breath. I don't know if my mic will pick that up, but it's because it's really, really hot in my room right now, like disgustingly hot. I have the doors closed, and I'm about to move into my dorm tomorrow. It'll be the day that this video is being put up that I'm moving in, but my room at home right now, disgustingly hot, so I'm like sweating in here. It's rough. But that won't be an issue anymore come tomorrow. I'll be able to more freely record videos and everything once my setup is done. So just something to keep in mind, you know, if you're hearing me like, like I'm dying here or something. Don't worry, not dying. Not yet, at least. Okay, so what we're going to do now, before we worry about the pump and everything, is what's actually happening with the rest of the mixed fuel that's already been cooled off. So we're going to need more iron fluid pipes over here. You probably don't need these, honestly, but to make sure everything's interacting properly, I like to use them because we want it to only go in one direction. So let's get some more dirt over here to use. So this one, we're going to want it to not go in there. And then this one, we're actually going to be hooking it up to the distiller right here. So we should put that down. So we'll put the distiller down, should be right there, and that'll allow us to get set up like this. So essentially what that's going to do is it forces it to try and go in here first. If it can't, it'll go in here, but nothing can pop back out. And then once they go through these, it'll be forced to be directed right into the distiller here, and then that can start functioning. And that's actually kind of, I don't want to say the last step in sort of this generic setup, but yeah, I mean, it kind of is, because once they go in here, then all we need to do is get a lot of our redstone engines and a lot of our wooden pipes, and at the bottom, we're going to pull out, the top we're going to pull out, and these are both going to go into their own tanks. This will be the gaseous fuel, this will be the regular fuel, and then over here, we're going to put down a tank just to start, and we can get rid of, I guess we need to block this off, actually, with a pipe plug because we don't want that like that. So we'll plug that right there, and we'll plug, nope, that's not what we want. Can we pop these off, or do I need to break it? Oh, you can just break it. Okay. So we're going to put those like that, and then we are just going to put another wooden fluid pipe right there, because this is where the oil is going to, I'll bucket it in to show you guys, which is why I want to have this here, but eventually all we got to do is run a line under this over to here. That's why I set it up like this, because I wanted the side that we're pumping it into to be as close to the sort of oil well as possible, or the two, I guess, that we have. So this is kind of the full setup outside of actually having the water pump in here. And you might be able to hear a little bit of noise. I don't know why. My fridge, I have like a mini fridge that I take with me to college, and I thought, haha, it'll be a funny idea to put it in my room so that I always have, like, you know, cold drinks here. So I never have to leave my desk, but it kicks on every time I go to record. So that's a little bit of a pain. But what we're going to do now is set the engines up. So we're going to put the Stirling engine down, put some coal in there. I think this one should already have coal. Yeah, so we'll put some coal in there. We'll just put all of it in there. And then we're going to put our redstone engines down. So 1, 2, 3. And thankfully, we now have levers to use on these, so it's not as big of an issue. And then we'll have one more for, oh, you know what? This one actually needs to be changed. So this one is going to have to go like this, solely because, and did I flip all the levers on these? I did not. So there we go. Get them to start pumping. Is this one built up? And that's why it's not pumping? Yeah, it is. Okay. So, we don't have it like that because we need to have our regular water pump here. And I think, yeah, it can go right below it. So we'll put the water pump right there. And then we got to make sure it's not connected. So we're going to have to plug this. How do I, can we weasel our way? Yes, we can. Haha. Got to get the right line of sight on it. But yeah, so we're going to do that. And then the water will get pumped in there. So we just got to clear out the space below it. And then I'm going to have to grab some water with my buckets from over here and slap those down inside there. Oh wow, that is actually super loud. Okay, I apologize. We're gonna try and finish up the video fast so that you guys don't have to listen to that. You can definitely hear it, so I'll try my best to edit it out, but as long as I'm talking, oh, it stopped. Haha. Okay, we won. It knew we were talking about it, so it stopped making noise. So we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna throw the lever down, and now it should pump water in there. So honestly, I think everything should be pretty much good to go. The only thing is we gotta sort of finesse our way. So what we'll do is I should already have a bucket of cool oil. So that'll go in here. And I'll throw 1 or 2 more buckets in there. So it's getting pumped out. Bucket some of this. So it's getting pumped in there. Everything working fine. And then we don't have any of the hot oil, but we do have the mixed light fuel shard hot that needs to be cooled off. So what we can do is, ooh, we don't have a redstone engine though to pull this out with. Can we steal one from somewhere? We can totally steal one from somewhere, because what we need to do is make it hot again and then get it to come in here. Actually, it needs to be in this pipe right here. So we would have the tank right here, that right there. We got 3 shards, so they're there. And then which one can we steal? Let's steal one of these back here, just to get it started. You wouldn't have to do this any other time, but it's because we're making the loop, so we just got to get it started. So we'll do this, flick that, and once it's in there, it should work. It might go in a slightly weird direction when it first goes in there because it can go both ways. But yep, there we go. Okay, so what we'll do now is, now that it's all out of the tank, we can break this, we can break this, and the whole system should start working. So you can see both of them are running right now, which is awesome. I think that is so cool. This is running, that is running, and you can see that it's pumping all of it in here because there's no overflow yet. But look at that, guys. I think that is so cool to watch work. And you can see it's actually filling up pretty fast over here. You have a fair bit in there, finishing up. Definitely just super, super cool. And then, of course, this one down here just needs to get this engine put back on here, flip the lever, and then this should be pulling out and get filled up too out of the bottom once it kicks in. And then all we got to do, if we want it to keep going, is dump the oil in. And then it gets heated up, and it's just, I just think this is the coolest thing ever. I know some of you guys may not take as much of an interest in this, and you just want it for the energy that you get. I believe this is the most efficient way to do it. I did not come up with this setup, Just wanted to let that be known. I did not come up with this, but this is the most efficient way to do it, and there have been no video tutorials on this one as far as I know, just like an Imgur picture of it. So I wanted to make sure people knew how to do it, but honestly, seeing all the heat exchangers running and the steam coming out and all these functioning, it's just, to me, it's the coolest thing. So is there stuff being stored in here? Yeah, there is. So honestly, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. As always, if you have any questions, I know this can be a complicated setup, so feel free to post them in the comments. And I want to say thank you to all of you, because like at least 10 of you were like, use the redstone, or use the levers, not redstone torches. It'll look so much better. So hopefully you're not freaking out now. Hopefully there's not something else that I massively screwed up. But thanks for watching, guys. And thanks for bearing with me with sort of the low video production over the summer. But like I said, I'm moving back into my dorm tomorrow, or when this video is going up, it'll be today. So I should be able to get videos out more regularly, and hopefully we will get some cool BuildCraft updates to play around with, finish up the thermal expansion series, be able to start a new one, and sort of kick the channel back into gear. So that's going to be it for today, guys, and I will talk to you later.
Faces swirling past me, all my memories rolling vastly.